All right, so we are here with Esmeralda, and you have a very interesting story, and it's a very controversial story because I talk to a lot of people that are animal lovers, and then you're coming from a different path or a different industry that really promotes bullfighting. So, just for a little bit of context, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you started getting into the bullfights and all that stuff.
Well, I am Esmeralda Seves. I have worked around 5 years in digital marketing here in the Valley. Until recently, I started working in promoting bullfighting using digital marketing. I started on bullfighting because of my dad. He used to take me since I was 5 years old. And I moved to the United States, and I lost touch with the event. Until recently, I was invited to participate in promoting some bullfighting events. And right now, I'm building a community and using digital marketing strategy to promote bullfighting and educate people about what bullfighting is and what is involved in.
It's a very controversial thing, right? Because coming from digital marketing, we're always pushing out ads on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, but there's certain community standards that we have to follow, certain terms of service. So what have you seen from your end? Because I know if I push something out with that shows too much skin, like it's just banned. But I can assume something like animal cruelty is something like that is just completely flagged through Facebook and Instagram. So talk about that.
Yes, one of the main challenges that we have is what content are we going to put out there? Because yes, as you say, some people may report our posts, mainly our videos, as animal cruelty, and you cannot show. They send us like a list.
Really?
They cannot show blooded fur.
Okay.
Or dying animals or stuff like that.
Yeah.
There are very few cases when Facebook take down our videos. But for the main part, what they do is this cover that
I've seen
the
you have
video
to
have
click
been
it.
cover.
Yeah.
But I am still not sure what is their standard, because it can be just a torero with a toro by his side, not even bleeding, and the photo is already covered. And then you see these videos of people killing people and all this stuff. And I am like, okay, I don't understand what exactly. So I don't know if Facebook is deciding that according to people reporting the post, or just they merely do the standards.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure.
Yeah, I know negative feedback on Facebook counts to like 10 times versus a like or something like that. So I can imagine, like, especially your industry, I've seen stuff in mine where they're showing blood. They're showing a lot of stuff. They're showing actual procedures, like for an aesthetic company, like the blood's on their face, and this is an ad going out. And I was like, I can't even get mine going out. So it's kind of frustrating, but it goes back to what Facebook does. Is like Facebook does whatever they want to do. Yeah. Period.
And also YouTube. I have seen people, journalists from the bullfighting world, having their channel, the YouTube channel, taken down, because I think it's not the content but the videos that they are showing out there.
Interesting. So in your industry, you're not talking about like a little 500 person people that are going to a stadium, right? Like, talk about the stadiums and like the bullfights themselves.
Well, the stadiums are called Plaza de Toros. And the biggest one is in Mexico City. It's the biggest one in the world, more than the Las Ventas in España. So, yeah, it is a big industry. Last year, for the Corrida Guadalupana, that is a traditional corrida that is held every December the 12th in honor of the Virgen de Guadalupe.
Okay.
It was full.
Wow.
Full.
So how many people is it full?
I feel full, nosotros decimos lleno hasta la bandera, like all the way to the top, 10,000 people.
Wow.
There. So when you say that bullfighting is not an industry anymore, you have to consider that attendance in just in Mexico City.
And that's not the only one, right? There's some in Monterrey.
Yeah, all across the Mexico, in Monterrey, in Aguascalientes, in Mérida, and a lot of Mexico places they held bullfighting events.
I've always wanted to go to one. I've always seen it. I've seen it on YouTube or seen it somewhere, right? And it's like it's very alluring to like to me, because I have a very I guess, how do you say, I don't want to say stoic, but kind of like not machismo either. Like I'm a guy. Like I like animals. I like to eat animals. I don't really hunt anymore, so I got a lot of buddies that hunt and cook and stuff like that. But we were talking about off camera that there's a lot of people that have a problem with, like for PETA example, for a lot of animal lovers, right? A lot of people that don't eat meat, a lot of animal cruelty. But the industry per se doesn't just throw away the animal, right? This is what, 1,000-pound animal bull. So talk about that, because I think a lot of people have a problem with that because they don't really understand.
Yeah. Well, one of the most important things that we have to consider when we go to a plaza is that we are supporting an industry that is very ecological. Like the place where the Toro Bravo develops is not your typical industry cattle that are in a little patio and
like the agriculture.
Yeah. They need to live the closer
He always comes out of my podcasts. So sorry. Go ahead.
They need to live in an open space. We say that the Toro Bravo, they are raised in the wild. Mm-hmm. They are not separated from their moms when they are born. They stay there until they are 6 months and all that. They are together with the herd, and because they need exercise, they are
natural. It's a natural state, right?
Yes, and so we are supporting that. We are supporting the fields where the Toro Bravo lives, where are wild. There are no deforestation or anything, and also you are supporting las vacas bravas.
So I'm a business owner.
I understand. You are supporting the cows too. The wild cows, the little becerros.
Okay, what's that? The little cows.
The little
Gotcha.
bulls or the little cows.
Okay.
So you have all these cattle, and from there only 20% of them go to the plaza.
Okay.
So you are supporting all of them, the cows and the becerros and the other one, the old ones, that they are not going to the plaza anytime soon. You are supporting the fields, and you are supporting the people who work in the fields.
Yeah, interesting.
That is before the bulls come to the plaza. Now, when the bull come to the plaza, you are supporting also this whole industry or people that lives from this. And when the toro leaves the plaza, like when he finish and he's dead, his meat is used for human consumption, which is a delicacy.
Yeah.
And the skin is used. So we see it as a very conscious cycle.
Right. And I think what a lot of people have a problem with is the way the animal dies. So spears, is that where swords or something like that?
It's a sword.
Okay.
A gun is a sword.
So then it's kind of doing a slow death, but you were talking about that it's very, I guess, touch on that, because it's a very, the bull is actually fighting for his life. So if the bull actually wins, like, somebody can get seriously hurt or die.
Yes.
So talk about that.
Well, the people, the taurinos, That is how you call the people that are really bullfighting aficionados, taurinos. We go to the plaza to see one of the greatest animal in the world that can weigh half a pound and is very powerful.
Half a ton.
Half a ton.
Half a ton. Which is a huge animal.
Sí, un animal de media tonelada.
Yeah.
Is very strong, is intelligent, and is raised with the characteristics that are needed to fight. It's not your typical meat industry.
It's not stuck in a stable where it's just going to get slaughtered.
Yeah.
That's what it's made for.
Right. So the biggest trophy that a bullfighter can get in a corrida de toros is forgiving the life of the animal.
Okay.
And that is something that when we go to the plaza, we want to see. We want to see the animal returning to the fields where he's going to die from old age.
Okay.
And because we want the ganadero.
Well, I'm not familiar with that. People are going to hate me because my Spanish sucks and I'm from the valley.
The owner of the cattle, he will want his blood and his genes to be spread towards the herd, so he can have that blood.
Okay.
And more bulls like the one who was returning to the fields.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting industry because I feel like a lot of it's glorified, especially in the tradition that in Mexico, right? Because you would never see that here in America. But it's a spectacle that I would love to see and I'd love to be part of. But I know there's always that backlash that you're going to get from somebody. And I think when we were talking about that there's some PETA people out there, right?
Yeah.
So how does that look, or how does it? I guess how do they intervene in the bullfights?
Oh, in the actual bullfights, they kind of don't, because you have, I don't know, 5,000, 10,000 taurinos around you, and when they go and they make the protests, they are just like 10 or 15.
Yeah.
So yeah, they might have their signs saying very straightforward and sometimes very rude statements, or maybe they might yell something, but you are coming to our house,
right? Yeah,
to our place.
You have to have some respect.
Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, the taurinos are very peaceful people, and it had never been seen like a kind of fight or something between them. So we just go to our business.
Right.
And when we have problems or when we have a challenge, it's on digital marketing. This industry, the digital industry, is you feel more bold when you are behind a keyboard than when you are face to face. And it's when people sometimes when I was starting to promote bullfighting on social media, I made the mistake of doing an ad. And I segmented for Plaza Toros, bullfighting, but I don't know how someone picked it up, and then I assume they reposted to a PETA group or vegan group, and then a lot of people come to your page and start saying comments, but very rude comments, bad words, and some if you talk back or respond, they take a picture of you and they post it in the comments, and it's crazy. It gets crazy. So after that, I say no more ads.
It's all organic.
Yeah, you have to do all organic, because even if you do it organic, I don't know how. I guess some people from PETA are just there.
They're waiting.
Just looking, and then they repost and they say attack this page or something. Because even if I don't do ads or anything, they come. to
Yeah.
our page, and they leave bad reviews, and they are offensive to everyone in the industry. So I just ban people from the page.
That's the great thing about Facebook is if you don't like something, just ban it.
Yeah.
But what do you feel about that? Because obviously social media has shrunk the world, right? So we can I have talked to people in Japan. I talked to people in India. I mean, the world has literally shrunk. Is it a good thing that everybody has a voice regardless if they're right or if they're wrong?
Yeah. I think it is good if you have the proper attitude. Like I will love for people to have an open mind and at least listen. What is this about? How
Right.
did it happen? How the Toro Bravo is raised? What is the purpose of the corrida de toros? It's not just going there and have fun watching an animal die.
Right.
It's something more. Is tradition, is history, is anthropology, is a ritual, is a lot of things. But I would like people to have an open mind to at least listen and maybe educate themselves, and then you make a decision.
Right.
Like, because I understand this is a very hard event. Is a strong event. You are watching an animal die right before you.
Yeah. It's very emotional.
Yeah, it's very emotional. That is the word. You go to the plaza not to have fun, but to have emotion. That emotion can be something really positive, like passion, or it can be sadness. I haven't seen people that, you know what, I cannot watch. Thank you for inviting me. Go. And you respect that because, okay, thank you for give it a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is the only thing. I would love to have people who are open to know more and maybe to go and see it for themselves, the whole ritual.
Yeah.
I don't know if they imagine there are a lot of people clapping and making jokes and drinking. If you go there, you're gonna see an experience that is like a ritual. Everyone is quiet. Everyone understand and respect the death of the animal.
So it's not like football where everybody's cheering like, yeah.
That
It's
is what we say. Like, it's not football.
Right.
And it's very traditional in a way that there is no technology involved at all. In the Plaza de Toros, you don't have special lighting. You don't have speakers. The only music that you hear is the ole from the people and the banda. The banda that they tocan paso doble,
Okay.
español,
Yeah.
and that's all.
That's it.
Yeah.
So it's a very raw experience.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that those type of experiences now coming, like I live in a digital age. I'm sure you live in a digital age. Our kids live in a digital age. Those experiences are kind of becoming obsolete now.
Yeah.
I mean, where else in the world can you see that type of stuff? I mean, you won't see it here in America. So you actually have to travel and get these experiences. And I think a lot of people are looking for those types of things where it's more of like a ritualistic type of scenario where you can't find that stuff anymore. Like you'll see it on YouTube or something, right? And that's it. Like you just have one mentality of it because you see it on a little screen and that's it. Like it's not the experience that you were talking about.
Exactly. And when it really surprised me is now when I go as a millennial in the digital age, is how that take people closer. In a Plaza de Toros, you don't have a seat like that, or like in a football game that you have your comfortable seat.
Yeah.
Do you know what you get in a Plaza de Toros?
What is it?
Cement with a number on it.
Wow.
So you are here, and the other people would be here, and other people would be here, and other people would be behind you. So their feet are gonna be like here, and then your feet are gonna be on the back of other people.
Yeah.
So you have to be respectful, and you have to behave yourself because you are close to a lot of strangers. And yes, they are drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how many times have we have like a fighting or an incident in a Plaza de Toros?
How many?
Never.
Wow.
You have 10,000 people skin to skin drinking in an event and you don't have any incident.
Why do you think that is?
I think that is the respect that we feel for the Fiesta Brava.
Okay.
The respect that we feel for the plaza and for the event. Because Taurinos, you don't go to a bullfighting event just like, oh, I'm boring. I'm going to Corrida de Toros. No, you go because your family takes you, your friends take you, or someone invite you. So in a way, we are all a big family.
Right. Okay. That's interesting. But in the stadium, you're seeing young kids as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it's families. Okay. So how do they react to that?
I took my daughter 3 years ago. She was 7. And as a millennial mom, I was like, oh my God, no, I don't know if I should take her. And I was like, well, sooner or later, he needs to see the reality. That is another thing. People are detached from the reality. People don't want to see the bad. They just want to enjoy the benefits.
That's interesting that you touch on that, because I was watching a documentary the other day, and it was about American people will not eat something that looks like the actual food. So a chicken, for example, that's why they cut it up, they put it in little strips or whatever. People are less likely to eat something that it resembles the food. But you're actually seeing this, like hunting. Like when you actually kill an animal, you gotta skin it, you gotta take out the meat. It takes time. It's a process, something like that, right? Mm-hmm. It's interesting.
And is the only event on the world that you're gonna see an animal die in front of you. Maybe hunting.
Legally.
Yeah.
Legally, because I mean, there's dogfighting.
Yeah. Legally.
Yeah, legally.
And I think is being in touch with death, with the process of death, which we as a society also reject. Mm-hmm. Nobody want to talk about death or sickness or an animal dying.
Yeah.
But here you have this event that is going to show you all that in an afternoon.
So it's like an emotional roller coaster.
Yes. And I say, well, my daughter sooner or later has to learn. And if she don't like it, I don't take her anymore. Yeah. She has to experience. And we go over there, and I was all worried, like, oh my God, she's going to be traumatized. You know what she did?
What?
Nothing. She kept eating the popcorn like, oh, it's already dead. Oh, can I have a soda? Like,
yeah, it's interesting.
Maybe sometimes we're judging our kids before we know what they think.
Right. Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, it's one, difficult being a parent, first of all, with kids growing up in this world that social media is around. And I always talk about TikTok because TikTok is a very interesting platform. Are you on TikTok?
No.
It's a very interesting platform because I was hesitant about getting into it because I'm 38, right? And my daughter's 9. And my audience is 75% females, but they're from the age of 6 years old to 12 years old or 15. And it's a very young demographic. And I feel like the people on there are making us and older people look bad because they're doing stupid things. I don't get it, but there's a lot of inappropriate things on there too that kids are being exposed to. Yeah. But I feel like it's not anywhere like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Like they don't have those, I guess, community standards yet. So kids are being exposed to this stuff like regardless. Like they're swiping up and they're seeing super inappropriate stuff. And I'm trying to, I guess, tell everybody like this is what's going on in TikTok. Like if I didn't jump on it, I would never know.
Right.
So I think I use it for digital marketing purposes, right? Because I eventually want to get like Frito-Lays or something to like be able to sponsor me so I can put out posts, stuff like that, right? Influencer marketing we're talking about. But yeah, I see it like people. And one thing that I do see is a lot of accounts are from the parents' phone. So they'll give it to their kids and they create the TikTok account with their parents' account. So it's a very weird social media platform where it's like the open west, like the Western world, like everything goes. Nothing's really censored anymore. What do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel about like coming from a place like Facebook and YouTube where a lot of stuff is censored to TikTok where nothing's censored?
Like as a mom
Yeah.
for my kids,
Or as a mom,
or
as
a user.
Yeah, as a user, as anything.
I don't know, because we have some we keep getting new platforms, and how are we gonna handle all these accounts?
Yeah.
How are we gonna make content from all of them?
Yeah.
You know, or is like when you had Facebook connecting to Instagram, and what you post on Instagram, it appears on the Facebook, and it's like
Same thing.
okay, it's the same thing. So are we gonna reach a point that whenever we post
It just goes to everything.
it's like I don't know if having more channels is the answer to being more productive on social media, or more creative
Yeah.
in social media.
Did you hear that Instagram is they want to get rid of the likes and the views
Yeah.
and all that stuff? What do you feel about that? Because I feel like influencer marketing is huge. I have a few friends that have like 35 to 100,000 followers, and they make money off of a lot of things that they do, right? But what happens like when those likes are gone or those views are gone?
Well, I think that is a good thing, because you can measure any other indicator, like you can see engagement, you can see what, I think that helps you to see what actually matters: conversions, engagement, interaction, instead of just well, you know that just looking at the likes is just vanity metrics.
Right.
You need to have something more leads, inbox. So I think it's good.
Yeah, I didn't believe in influencer marketing here in the Valley until my buddy Luis Alejandro, which is he does makeup, right? Do you know him?
Yeah.
So I was looking at his Instagram stories, and he was having an event, I think at Five Guys Burgers or something like that. And I was like, yeah, or whatever, influencer marketing, fine. So I look at his stories, and there was a bunch of people like there for him. I was like, dude, this is awesome. Like it
Yeah.
really works. And I think these are like the new celebrities that are actually have pull now versus like the main celebrities that are coming out in movies and stuff like that. Because I think it was Gary Vaynerchuk that was saying that in the next few years, like these celebrities that come out on movies and stuff are going to be in for like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like these influencers are literally making millions of dollars a year. And these are the new celebrities. Like I think Joe Rogan was saying that his neighbor is a YouTube star. Like he has like a $7 million house. It's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
So I guess the hard part is how do you grow an influencer marketing, I guess, brand for yourself? You've been in the industry. What have you
Yes.
seen?
Well, in my opinion, is having good content. Because I know it's so cliche, like
Yeah.
everybody make good content, but at the end is your base. Then you can do your branding for your content and all the videos. But if you don't have something substantial to say, or something substantial to give to the world or to the user, sooner or later is not gonna be there.
Yeah.
But if you do tips, if you give value information, if you help them solve problems,
Educational information.
inspiration, you can be there for the long.
And I think a lot of people, because obviously we live in an instant gratification world, but I feel like people like, well, it's not working, especially business owners, like small business owners and corporate. They're like, well, okay, I need to see these metrics today, and that's not really how it works. So I always ask this because coming from me, it's super exhausting. Like this guy's talking about this again. So it's good when I have another digital marketer in here to talk about these things, because it really gives depth to social media. It's not like your one post is going to return you thousands of dollars.
Exactly.
So kind of touch on that, because I think it's super important that people understand how social media really works.
Well, in my experience, social media is about making a community. It's not more about selling in the first stage.
Yeah.
It's more about building your community, building trust, having people listen to what you have to say, And then you can reap the benefits, which is I'm selling something, and if you trust me, you can buy it.
Yeah.
Right? That is what social media is. It's making a community. Like that is what I did with this bullfighting. Instead of doing the traditional tactics like segmentation, ads,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, in this industry, this is not going to work. I need something else. So I made a community. And you know what a community I made? Memes.
Memes. I love memes.
It's called Tauro Meme, and it's memes about toros, about everything, anything that happened in the bullfighting world. I have like 4,000, nearly 5,000. But for me, as a digital marketing, it was like, wow, with zero investment.
Yeah.
Well, my investment was making the memes,
Yeah,
right?
your time.
Time and content.
Yeah.
And identifying what people need in this industry. And what I see is like the toros industry is so serious,
Yeah.
so traditional. Imagine your dad there, my dad there. Sometimes it's like, what are you talking about? A meme that is so disrespectful.
Yeah.
People are risking their lives there,
Yeah.
and you're making memes. And I was like, but this industry needs that. Every industry needs memes to survive, you know?
Yeah. It's like this boring stuff. Like you always see
Yeah.
on Facebook, like, okay, this guy's talking about, nose surgery or something.
Yeah.
That's super boring. But a meme about it gets attention, and then they might actually go further and look into it. Like
Exactly. I see one salon, hair salon here in the Valley, that they do memes all the time about your experience of going to the salon and all this. And it's fun to see, and you keep following that account.
Yeah.
Instead of, I don't say instead of, but maybe if you are more serious and this is the color and we made the color like this, like maybe if you are aiming for very young people, maybe the memes are the way to go. So we did this meme about toros, and at the beginning, a lot of people, taurinos, they didn't like it. They didn't like it. They were like, that is so disrespectful. This is a serious business. People are risking their life. And these are people like my dad, like 50 something, and they talk about the toro and the physiognomy of the toro and all that. And I was like, if this industry is going to survive in this digital world, in this digital vegan world, they need for the taurinos our age to be in the same symphony, to have memes, so they can share, so they can laugh, so they can.
It's the language of the world. I mean, it's the language of social media. That's pretty much what it is. And I find it interesting because how do you feel about traditional marketing? So, for example, like billboards. I have a huge beef with billboards. Like I go after billboards all the time.
I can read your post.
I go after billboards and TV because
radio commercials.
Yeah, I do like I use radio sometimes for my podcast because I know the market's here in the Valley, right? But like TV, I interviewed my buddy Alex Garrido, which is UTRGV, the director, and he was talking about some places spend like 25 grand on one commercial that airs 1 month. Like, you know what you could do on social media with that?
I used to say that also, like magazine ads, yellow pages. There's the people who use yellow pages, and it's a lot of money that you invest. And I thought the same, you know, what we can do with all the money in Google or Facebook or all this.
Yeah.
Yes, but I think it depends on the industry again, because, for example, for toros, it's so traditional that they use billboards.
Wow. Yeah. But it works. I'm assuming it works for that industry.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and they use and the bus, like when the bus, they are very traditional. They are not in the TV anymore.
Okay.
But I don't know if it is for the regulations. People don't like it.
It's an interesting shift that a lot of traditional, because I feel like a lot of people that do traditional type of media, they just love it. Like they're used to it. It's easy. All right, here's the money. Take it and do whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
So that's what, like, convincing these people, like, this is the new world that we're living in social media. Is like, invest here. You can get a better return on investment. We can track everything. We can get your data. We can literally serve your ads to a mom with a 3 to 5 year old child. I mean, that's how pinpointed the targeting is. I mean, I have a huge beef with billboards.
I understand. But I think that is especially here in the Valley.
Yeah.
You don't have this big metropolitan city that everybody needs to see the billboard. Like, come on, we're pretty small.
Yeah.
And we don't need billboards here.
Yeah. I always say I'm the Bamar. I'm not gonna say the real name, but the Mamar of advertising in the digital world. Because one thing that I found recently was I got let go from one of my clients because I was servicing another business. So, for example, like barbecue, right? I had 2 or 3 different accounts of barbecue, right? And these are big brands, right? But they didn't want me to work with other barbecue places, which is weird because, I mean, my job as an advertiser and a marketer is to get your product out in front of people and do it in a professional way. So what do you feel about that? Because I have a problem with I guess I'm just going on a rant. I've been waiting for this.
Go ahead. I listen.
So what do you think about that? Because I feel like, obviously, my job is to get your product out in front of people in a professional way. So how do you feel about?
I don't know. I think if you are given the results, they should have no problem with that.
Yeah. I talked to a few friends, and one of my buddy, Jesse, he's from Seattle, and they do industries all the time. They're doing email marketing and a lot of copywriting. So he was saying, like, I was asking him, what happens when business gets slow or when people don't want you to work with other people? He was like, I think my mistake was not building a brand. Like my company is Alamo Digital Agency, but it's always me, Josh Moroles, going to talk to the business owner. So I developed that relationship one-on-one. So when I try to push the brand, it's like, hey, the brand is the one that's pushing out the advertisements. I'm just the guy the sales guy or the guy that's going in and talking to the people, right? That I guess they associate me because now we have that relationship, like, no, you're backstabbing me, you're going after other people. But I think that was my mistake, is not building the brand behind it, because now the brand is like Lamar advertising, right? It's no longer Josh Morales going into the meetings. It's I represent a bigger thing, which is, I guess, in the eyes of a business owner, okay, now you can do whatever you got to do. How do you feel about that? I think that's what it is. I don't know. I mean, I can't pinpoint it yet.
I always think otherwise. I read someone, a guy that I've been following is called June Loaiza. And he's very young entrepreneur, and he has like 2 ventures, and he sold the ventures, and then he has another one, and he write a blog about branding and marketing and how he raised capital and all that. And he worked an article that caught my attention, and I always remember that he say, why is a personal brand better than an agency brand?
Yeah.
And he say that people is easier to people to connect with another person, right, instead of like a brand, and that clients, they like treating a person because you are accessible. They can call you on the phone, and they can get to you very, very fast. Like they are treating a person, and not with a brand.
It's a human experience.
Yeah. So siempre me quedé pensando, pensé en eso, like, is really a personal brand better than an agency brand? Because I used to have my brand too. It was Ugly Ducky. Okay. But nobody never recognized Ugly Ducky. Always was, Esmeralda, yeah. Right. And when they see the inbox, it's like, who is Ugly Ducky? It's me. Oh, okay. So I don't know, especially here in the valley where people know each other. They know you in first name basis. We are close. We are not this big city, I guess. And I guess it depends on what you want, because if you want to go like, I want to go to Lion Canyons and
Right.
be this very huge agency, well, yeah, go and push your brand. But if you want to be one-on-one, I guess it's okay if you...
Yeah, maybe that's why it's harder for me to scale the company, because this year I just hired a guy, a really good videographer, and I'm pushing more now the agency, but I'm also doing the personal branding stuff. So I'm kind of just doing it all now, and I'm obviously I'm on every different platform. Do you use Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
So
that much.
what's the biggest platform in Mexico right now?
I think is Instagram.
Instagram. Interesting. I know a lot of stuff happens now in Instagram stories versus just the post. The organic stuff on Instagram is just horrible now. And I didn't realize it until the other day. I was interviewing a buddy of mine that does a lot of BBQ hubs, and he's huge on Instagram. Like, he's cooking outside, outdoor stuff. And after that, I got a ton of messages on Instagram stories, and I was having conversations with people. And then after that, I started having conversations with people about digital marketing. So people are always reaching out, but it's always that thing where people aren't liking, commenting and stuff, but they're seeing your stuff.
Yeah.
And they're reaching out to you in the back end. So that's what we're talking about, like vanity metrics. They don't really matter.
Yeah. And what I don't like is like it counts as a view, but you are just like clicking, not even seeing, or it's like boring, and you just click it to finish and get to the other person.
Yeah.
And instead it's counting as a view.
Yeah.
So we are being misled
Yeah.
too. Like, okay, did you see it, or you just pass it?
Yeah.
And I thought Instagram needs to change that, like maybe 2 seconds or people watching 3 seconds. Pero yo lo he visto. I have seen it.
Yeah.
Even if you do 1 second just to skip it, it counts as a view.
I like, I don't know if you're familiar with the new Facebook through views, which is 15 seconds. Now it has to count it at 15 seconds.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, because it's more expensive to get in front of that audience, but those people are more likely to watch the whole thing versus a 3-second clip of whatever, right? Which is how Facebook usually counts a view. But the through views, they're typically more expensive, which is what I try to go after all the time. And I try to explain to like business owners, it's going to be more expensive to reach this audience, but you're getting better leads down the line.
Quality.
So talk about that, because I think obviously you can have these vanity. I can push out $100, $200 on Facebook and get a ton of views. Go take this to somebody that I want to work with. Look, check this out, right? But it's misleading. Like, I'd rather have, instead of 200,000 views, I'd rather have 1,000 views of actual people that actually saw the thing. So talk about that. About the depth of the stuff that's going out. Like, I guess versus these vanity metrics, right? Which you have 200,000 views versus 1,000. Like, talk about the importance of having a good message, of actually finding the audience that you want to go after.
Yeah, I think the importance is finding your segment. Well, it is one thing to define your audience in your plan and your marketing plan, that, I don't know, women this age that lives here and this entrance, and actually what words in the when you do the ads.
Yeah.
Because I have my super defined audience that I thought. And when I put it on Facebook and actually run the ads, one is super, super expensive to reach even one like, not even a lead, not even a message, just like one like. And then it was not even qualified the way I thought it would be.
Yeah.
So I think it's better at first do the trial and error, that, okay, this ad with this segmentation, with this definition gets me, I don't know, 3 inbox.
Yeah.
Because for me, the inbox is more worth than a share or than a like.
Right.
Because an inbox is like a lead. It's someone is stepping in your store and asking questions.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always make some ads and then I have a lot of likes, but none of all these people even lives near the place I was making ads to. So you cut your losses and do another one and do another one. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's part of the process.
Exactly.
A business cannot expect that a digital market would come with a solution right away and look at all the people coming. Like, it takes time. I always explain to the clients, this is like a garden. You need to plant your seed, which is open your Facebook account, but you have to every day regarla con agua.
Water it a little bit more, yeah.
Every day, and that will be your content. That will be the quality of your work. And I'm not saying you have to spend like a huge millions in the perfect video or something. You have something professional, every day making good content until you can reap the benefits.
Yeah. I think a lot of people think like the instant gratification world is like it's going to happen right then and there. But I've seen that when I'm doing marketing long term, some people come in 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line, but it's because you've been building that content over time. And a lot of people don't like that. They're like, all right, I want it now.
Yeah, it's not the same taking over a business that it has been here like 5 years and 5 years of Facebook promotion, and I already have an audience there that, hey, I just opened my business, please help me, is gonna be work.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you agree with me, but every year gets more challenging.
Yeah, and more expensive.
Yeah, maybe these business owners remember when they opened an account in 2012,
Yeah.
and everything was free.
Everything was organic.
Yeah, and organic and all that, and then they expect the same results 6 years, 7 years later.
Yep.
Like, even in Instagram, it's more challenging to get followers than 5 years ago.
Yeah, everything's getting more difficult, getting more expensive, and the tactics that you have to use are more. You have to be more involved. Social media is actual work. It's not like, all right, I'm posting a picture today. It's not like that anymore. Right. I use a lot of I've been diving into articles now, so more like the written word, because I do understand that some people watch video content, but there's also a lot of people who love to read. So they're two different audiences, or they could overlap the same audience, but I'm trying to touch every touch point possible for my clients. But I feel like a lot of clients don't really understand like the whole marketing technique. Like, all right, we're going after the people that read, we're going after the people that watch videos, we're going after the people that engage with posts. We're trying to touch everything. And this is like a somewhere like a big agency in New York would use. Like, this is the tactic they would use, and I guess they don't understand it completely. But I mean, there's definitely a lot of work, and I think
it is.
I think people are really underestimating the power of social media and what it can do for a business. I mean, there's people that still don't have Facebook pages, and they're opening up businesses. Like, that's the new world we live in, and it's free to open it, and it's not going to cost you that much money to get in front of people. So I guess, what tips would you give new businesses that are about to open up? How do they get into the social media game?
If they are about to open?
Or if they see themselves like, hey, I'm going to start a business in 2 months. Like, I think that's prime time to start priming the people.
I will say it depends on the industry, on the business. But let's say it's a restaurant, the one I have more experience with. Create expectation about the opening. Also, another thing that I really like is mix the digital experience with the real life experience. I think that is the ultimate challenge for the digital marketing.
So touch on that then.
When you can get your audience digital, I used to have these restaurants like have like 10,000, And I always like to do events and all that. And I was like, how can I reap the benefits of this audience into the real world? Because when a business owner see the digital board translated into the real world, like, wow, there is people here just for the Facebook page.
Yeah.
That is where the real power of digital comes into place, and everyone is surprised. Yeah. Like, I have this restaurant, and I say, you know what? Let's do an event. Do this special menu just for this event. I think it was like, I call it a vegan party.
Okay. Ironic. Irony.
Because it was a healthy restaurant. So let's call it a vegan party, and do this menu for this special event, and sell the tickets online. Not at the door, not anything, just online. They need to buy it online beforehand. Yeah. Oh, okay. We sold out.
It's awesome.
And when the business owners saw that, because she didn't have to do anything, just design a special menu for the place, and that's it. No additional investment, no other stuff. So when they see the restaurant full of people, I didn't have to do anything. Just read the benefits of. We have been worked together for like 4 years. Like, this is what you can do. Yeah,
it works.
And you can repeat it every month if you want, or 2 months, and whatever. I think that is the ultimate proof that you can say, hey, my digital audience is here.
Right.
And it's something that we work for. It's the same with the plaza. Like, okay, I have this. I open a page just for one corrida de toros that is gonna be in a small town in Monterrey, and I open a page just for that. And when you translate, like, okay, I only solo junté 600 people because I opened the account like 3 weeks before the event, and 600 people were in the page, but people were asking, hey, where can I buy the tickets? It's traditional, so they can get the ticket online.
Yeah.
Así hubiera tenido more proof.
Yeah.
But they were like, oh, where I go to buy the tickets and all that. We have inbox, people saying, so good that you advertise, because we didn't know.
Yeah.
And then you go to the plaza and there is people there. It's like, we can bring people.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the events on Facebook because I don't know, well, I'm sure you know that Eventbrite now got integrated into the Facebook events, which is awesome, because the only thing I don't like about Eventbrite is obviously the fees. They're so crazy. Like my gosh. But we do Friday Night Funnies at one of my clients' plays, and it's always packed. Like we sell tickets. Like, it works. Like, I mean, there's no other, you can't deny it, right? Yeah. These are actual people coming in that are buying tickets directly off of Facebook. And now it's even easier to retarget those people because you can buy it based on their interests. Like, did they have an intent to purchase? Well, you can throw ads in front of them. Yeah. It's awesome. It's a really good world that digital marketers live in. But I think we need to talk about it more because business owners don't understand it. Like, they just see like these guys are just doing whatever, right? And they're bringing people.
They're just posting on Facebook, and my nephew can do that.
Yeah, it's free. Yeah, or my daughter can do it because she's really good at it. She has a Facebook or Instagram account,
and she takes really good pictures.
Yeah, I mean, with cameras now, I mean, it works. But yeah, I think that talking about it more, getting it out there, and spreading the word, like from digital marketers like ourselves, like, it's super important that people understand like the power behind what we're actually doing is driving sales versus not having this and not having anybody.
Right.
So before we finish off the podcast, I just want to make sure people can find out more about you or learn more about you, or if they want to reach out to you about anything that you have coming up. You have Comer RGV?
Que Comer RGV.
So yes. talk about that a little.
Well, Que Comer RGV, I opened the Instagram and Facebook, I think back in 2012. Okay. And I wanted to be an app to people finding where to eat. Mm-hmm. But then it comes all these apps that do that for you. Yeah. So I was like, I just want to post pictures of what I'm eating. Mm-hmm. And right now, I think is the biggest foodie influencer in the Valley.
Nice.
Yeah, I was telling you that a lot of brands are like Whataburger and all stuff. Like I have already Whataburger, Tony Roma's, Cane's, just to do influencer marketing.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you need suggestions to where to eat, I always go to my own Instagram account and I said like, oh, I'm craving
That
this.
was
Let's
good.
go.
So yeah, if they want to reach out to you and do some type of influencer marketing, they can reach
Yeah.
out to Que Comer RGV, right?
Que comer RGB.
So, and if they want to find out about the bullfighting in Mexico or anything like that,
They can go to Tauro Meme in Facebook and Instagram.
awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just thank you very much for coming on the podcast. I thank you for your time. Thank you for your digital marketing experience. It's hard to
you
talk
for
about
inviting.
people. It's hard to talk about certain subjects with people that don't really know anything about this stuff. So it's refreshing to talk about this stuff. But then again, I thank you very much. Thank you for your time, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for inviting me.